For all the latest reviews, interviews, and everything entertainment in Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, and Telugu, subscribe to Film Companion South now.
Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. In this episode, we are going to be talking about Anand L. Rai's Atrangire, which is on Disney Hotstar right now. The film stars Dhanush, Akshay Kumar, and Sara Ali Khan. Now, before I get to the story, let me talk about the combination of the director Anand L. Rai and the writer Himanshu Sharma. They are one of my favorite combinations because they take naturalistic milieus like rural Bihar, in this case, in Atrangire, and then they set these fantastical storylines in them. They are not bothered about naturalism or realism. The other thing about this writer-director team is that they're not afraid to play around with or put on screen these abrasive, in-your-face, obnoxious characters like the one that Dhanush played in Ranjana or the one that Sara Ali Khan plays here. Her name is Rinku. The character's name is Rinku. And then by some strange dream logic, they make us care about these characters. The story is about Rinku's attempts to elope with her lover, whose name is Sajat Ali Khan. Now, there may be an inside joke in the fact that that man's initials, S-A-K, are the same as those of Sarah's real-life father, Saif Ali Khan. You'll understand this inside joke later, maybe at the end of the film. Anyway, these first few scenes, we are in rural Bihar where it's always raining. That's one of the many fantastical elements here. And to prevent Rinku's constant attempts at elopement and also narratively speaking, to stop this rain from ruining Rinku's life, the film unleashes the first of its many madly inventive conceits. Rinku is forcefully married off to a Tamra named Vishu, played by Dhanush, and the couple is then packed off to Delhi, sunshine-filled Delhi, where Vishu is studying to be a doctor. Naturally, there's a ton of complications that follow, and at first, Rinku comes off like Geet from Jab We Met, a very filmy woman who wants a very filmy romance, and she wants a magic in her life. But instead of a magician, she's stuck with a medicine man, and the film converts the madness of love into a very strange kind of madness. Now, this madness is not to be taken as a literal medical condition. As I said, this is not a naturalistic or a realistic movie. Whenever I say mad or madness, I'm talking about the sense of प्यार में पागल हो जाना, which we've heard in tons of movies, tons of Hindi movies. This movie, Atrangire, literalizes this concept. Why do we fall in love? That's one of the hardest things to say. Maybe this very traditional meek Vishu, who's got his life all planned out. At age 28, I've got to do this. At age 32, I've got to do this. He's got his whole life planned out the way his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, everybody had it planned out. And maybe he's just enchanted by this woman who is his exact opposite in every possible way. And the mad scenes are written beautifully. Here's an example. Vishu is actually engaged to somebody else in Madurai, and he's got to go and get engaged to this woman, and he and his band of boys from his college, from his medical college, they're going to this engagement, and Vishu enters his room where Rinku is staying to ask her if she wants to come. Now, one part of him knows that it's danger if she comes. Another part of him wants her to come. So, Dhanush kind of keeps playing this, or rather, the way the scene is written, Dhanush keeps playing this over and over again. This dilemma keeps happening over and over. Okay, come. Okay, don't come. Okay, it's your choice. Okay, come. Okay, don't come. Okay, it's your choice. This keeps happening so many times that it literally, you feel his condition out there. You know, somehow he's not quite there in this engagement in Madurai. He's already in love, but he still has to break the shackles of his traditional upbringing, and this he does during that engagement in Madurai. Now, let's ask the same question from the other point of view. Why does Rinku fall for Vishu? Again, she's got Sajad waiting for her. What does she need Vishu for? Because Vishu is the first gentle, nice, good man that she's come across in probably her whole life since meeting Sajad. And imagine her in Dhanush's house in Madurai, where he stands up for her and defends her while she's being insulted. Now, if you watch these scenes too logically, you'll begin to think, why can't Vishu just tell his fiancée that such a thing happened and he's stuck with this woman until they can get a divorce and then they can get married as they had planned? And we get two answers for this. One is Dhanush's psychiatrist friend who convinces him that he knows women and he knows how they think. So do not tell your fiancé, is his advice. He actually tells him twice. Now, that's a logical answer, and the illogical answer is that Dhanush has already fallen for Rinku, and her madness, some of her madness has started rubbing off on him. Even within all this madness, the characters keep their consistency, the scenes keep their consistency. Early on, there's a scene where Rinku says she keeps a Somvar Ka Vrat. Later on, she refers to astrology. Visu first sees and possibly falls for Rinku in a scene that involves glass bottles, and later he himself is involved in a scene that involves broken glass bottles. Even that constant rain at the beginning makes sense after a while, after you see an instance involving fire. Because in that place in Bihar, the constant rain keeps putting out these fires, and here these fires are allowed to burn bright. Dhanush is simply fantastic. He's playing the sole logical character in this deliberately mad movie. He's a man of science. He's a man of reason who says he's never been in love. The scene where he tells Rinku that he's angry and not for the reasons that she expects is one of the most beautifully written scenes I've seen all year, because in that scene, Rinku too realizes that she is in love with Dhanush, but the way the scene ends is with a trumpet call that appears out of apparently nowhere, because nowhere in their surroundings is any kind of musical instrument, but it appears in the soundtrack because that is Rinku's siren call that Sajjad has come, and despite her growing love for this Dhanush character, this Visu, she has to go to Sajjad. And then Visu also goes mad in the sense of this film, in the Pyar Mein Pagal Ho Jana sense. He performs a surgery on a non-existent patient. He does things like that. It's his love for Rinku that makes him do all these things, and it's brought out in a very beautiful line. अब मैं ही पहले जैसा नहीं रहा तो बाकी सब कुछ पहले जैसा कैसा होगा. Atrangi Re may be the first mainstream film after Khamoshi, the Vahida Rahman starrer, that says that love can be a form of trauma. It says that love can be exercised by two ghosts on a platform, on a railway platform. It says that true love can act as a medicine, as a cure, and it says that all these things can happen within the framework of our mainstream cinema. Anand L. Rai and Himanshu Sharma are one of those writer-director combinations that are still refreshingly desi enough. They know the language of older Hindi cinema. They know how to use these songs in the narrative, and they know how to use Irshad Kamal's lines in these songs to fill up the gaps in the narrative. Like Red Zarasi gives a sense of love being like sand slipping through your fingers, and in Tumhe Mohabbat Hai, we hear a very rare situation that, at least in Hindi cinema, I don't think I've heard recently, when usually a man is dejected in love, he sings about his own feelings, right? But here, it is a man singing about his competition. This is Visu singing about Sajjad, even though he's the one, that is Visu is the one that's being dejected in love. I can't say that every scene or every mad conceit works. The very flirtatious song that Rinku performs during Visu's engagement in Madurai, it seems really out of place. It could have been better set up because you kind of know the logic that she's kind of begun to fall for this guy and she perhaps doesn't want this engagement to happen, but the idea doesn't reach the screen. But then, like Zero, that's how this film works. It doesn't over-explain things. It just gives us enough to hold on to so that we can try and make sense to the extent that human behavior can be made sense of. I was constantly riveted by the risks this writer and director kept taking in the context of a mainstream film, and the actors do their damnedest to flesh out these people, these conceits, and make us believe. I already spoke about Dhanush. He has the orthodox role of a man of science who slowly turns into a man of non-reason. Akshay Kumar also has a very complicated role. He has to use his stardom, he has to appear a stubborn lover to a much younger girl and yet not appear creepy, and he juggles all this beautifully. As for Sarah, her natural exuberance is, I think, used for the first time properly, because she's this character who's at first grating. She grates on your nerves, and slowly as she melts, she takes you along with her on her journey, on her incredible journey. Every moment for Rinku is a hugely magnified moment, a hyper moment, and Sarah makes you feel every inch of this magnification. I know I was in the minority with Zero, and I have a feeling that's going to be the same thing here too, but here's what I feel about these films. They are a refreshing antidote in this age of our increasingly West-oriented top directors who don't have a Hindi film sensibility at all. And after a long time, I felt that I was watching a Hindi movie with a modern day take on that old cliche, Pyar Mein Pagal Ho Jana. So that's it about Atrangi Re. If you like this review, do subscribe to Film Companion South, and see you soon at the movies.